what have you seen that has surprised or even amazed you in Star Trek literature in those 10 years?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, over the last 20 years, the when before the new shows started,
Right.
so in the previous 20 years, go back 5 years and then go back another 20 years. the the uh, the fiction, since all the shows were off the air, Paramount had allowed the novelists to continue the stories of the characters beyond the end of the show.
Right.
And the novel lines had developed a web of continuity between the books and the lines, with crossovers and all sorts of things. So they were kind of entwined. Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and so there was a lot of inter-book continuity. So when I first started copy editing, one of the jobs that's special to the Star Trek copy editor is you have to be aware as much as possible, not just of the film stuff, because of course the license is that you can't contradict the filmed canon.
That's right. You can't contradict canon.
But then the books had their own canon that you had to keep an eye on as well, where you could get a manuscript,
right,
and you'd say, oh, but wait a minute, 4 TNG novels ago they said this about so and so, so this doesn't quite fit. Can we, fix that? So that was, part of what I was doing for 10 years. But then when the new shows started, then that was a whole different thing, because then you couldn't, you can't break canon with the TV shows. But when the TV shows are currently on the air, there's new canon every week. So to try to keep those manuscripts from breaking canon, they came up with various ways to try to make it easier. They would do prequels and of course also back in the day when things were more episodic,
right,
you could just write a TOS or a TNG adventure, and you could just say it took place around so and so, and then you would just write basically an episode.
Yeah,
but with Discovery being very tightly serialized from start to finish,
right,
it's very hard to find a place to pop in a story.